finding people that value their dreams is really hard, especially when you're trying to find a partner.
Yeah, because man, when I was married, it was so annoying. I used to unplug the Wi-Fi every night. And she just never respected that shit. You know what I mean? I wake up and she would have the Wi-Fi, on, and I'm like, man, why would you turn this shit back on? You know what I mean? You waited for me to go to sleep so that you could turn this bitch back on for what?
Dang.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just stuff like that. Like, people, then they really get mad. Like the same way that you're mad. Same way you'd be like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you do this?
Or why don't you care about this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, why do you care about this?
That's a crazy thing about the Wi-Fi. This is all. Let's say one more thing about the Wi-Fi, and then I have one more note I want to touch on, and we can probably keep these and wrap up.
All right.
Um, but yeah, I mean, what it's looking like is that there's the ley lines, like these magnetic ley lines, and also on the last video too. I'm gonna put a link from YouTube to that documentary about the clones and the incubator babies for anyone who didn't catch that, just for context or a reference. But
yeah, I know it probably just sounds crazy. Like people are like, I don't know what the fuck they talking about.
if they didn't, so I'll put a link in the Patreon just when I post that video. But it is this thing with being on a ley line, like a magnetic, because there's the ley lines for sure, and there's these magnetic cross points where it's there's just gonna be the most harmonic, like, energy. I could be way more specific saying energy, but just for brevity, I'm saying that. And so you could be on the ley, and there's a dude that his house is on a ley line. I'm pretty sure it might be in Spain, and he can't turn the Wi-Fi on. Like, he does not have Wi-Fi. It's like just like dial up or whatever. And every time he's somewhere where they do have Wi-Fi, or if someone were to like bring a Wi-Fi in his house and turn it on, instantly he feel nauseous.
Because he's never really exposed to it. His body, like, what the fuck is this?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's because this is the same dude talking about just like imploding, like being able to like coherently implode your aura through the 0 point of gravity to arrange yourself on the other side of an array, like in a lucid dream. And if you can't coherently implode your aura to make it through the other side, then so you can't coherently project yourself somewhere else. If you were to like see something or have like project yourself into a lucid dream. And things like non-biological materials and Wi-Fi are the worst. Like, your aura can't implode if you're in a hospital. Like, the last place you want to die is in a hospital, because of how there's the Wi-Fi, but then there's just like all the metal of the structure of the building, and how there's no wood. Like if it were to be wood, or just like there's non-biological materials, or like metal, or like a biological material like wood. It's just there's not much of a capacitance for the resonance of the aura in a coherent way if it's not a biological material or biologic material. And so he's saying if you live in biological material on a ley line with no Wi-Fi, your aura can implode way more clearly. You can for sure lucid dream way easier, all these things. And I just thought of that just because you said like you literally had someone you just turned off the Wi-Fi every night respecting your dreams.
Yeah, and then she would be like pissed about the shit. And yeah, but now it's like we got together when I was being disrespectful, so we got together on that premise. So once I start being respectful, it's like being disrespectful to the disrespect.
Dang.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Because like, especially with chicks, they've been taught to pretty much, be like Patrice says, like we say abusive, like emotionally abusive. They got like
to get what they want.
Yeah, like
it's from a young age. That's just kind of how they
it's like condones like sanctioned abuse. Like you're allowed to be like this, and I mean, chicks don't even know that they're getting further away from their womanhood the more that they want to be with somebody that they don't want to submit to, or that they don't, naturally feel like submitting to, because like it's gonna make them more themselves. You know what I mean? If they were with someone that was actually a man, then they can actually submit to that and be who they are.
And it's the same thing with males. On the flip side, I feel like this is the same things happening on both sides. Like males wanting to be with more women with more masculine traits, just so they don't have to be themselves.
Yeah, working from all the personality, because we'd be like, I don't know if we want to say jealous a bitch. It's like, it's not like I want to be a bitch. You just want the things that they get, like Patrice was saying. He was like, yo,
Peace, man.
He was like, I had to be funny for 20 years, 30 years to get into certain rooms, and a bitch can just get in that room just because she's a bitch. You know what I mean? And it's like, you don't want to be a bitch. You just want to get in the room.
Yeah, you want their privileges. You want the privileges of a bitch.
But I don't want to get there in that way though.
Yeah. You don't want to be a hoe.
Yeah, you want to get there because you like, yo, I earned it. You know what I mean? I did what I had to do to get here.
And that satisfaction and fulfillment is probably one of the deepest lessons. I feel like once you get that, you can't even really date outside of the pool of people who actually have gone through that themselves.
Yeah.
Like, it's just weird if you don't.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to really just be yourself. Like, and just do things that like keep you being yourself. And, you know what I mean? Things that take you further from that, then you're going to get more into the persona. And then you get, then you act, then you're really acting feminine. I don't want to say you're acting like a woman, because a woman being herself isn't going to live in her persona either. Like, she can use it here and there. It's like a utility. It's not the identity.
Yeah. When it's functioning purely, is definitely a humble attitude that I feel like evolves into, when you do have, like the Aboriginal elder matriarch of the tribe who can talk to the weather and call rain on command.
Yeah, and this is not possible if men aren't being men. It's not possible for a woman to be a woman, They really can't. Only way they can do it is if their dad was a man and they experienced that intimately up close, like their dad was a real man. If they never was exposed to a man, they don't know what being a woman is. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
well, in the definition of the persona, it does stem from a trauma, correct?
Yeah, I mean, identifying with it definitely stems from a trauma.
Like initially, you had to, in order to cope with the pain in the moment, there's that split in the consciousness that happened, so you could deal with it from another perspective, and and then
the dissociation.
You dissociate from your true self and that false sense of self.
Yeah, like in the movie Split, right? He had DID, dissociative identity disorder. I got beat by this woman, by my mom, so the persona took over, and it started to be extra clean, and do these things to make my life extra clean, so I wouldn't get beat.
Yeah,
it's like this super rigid persona grew off of that, but that's not who they are. You know what I mean? It's just what they're being at the moment, like. But it's not who they are,
And that's why. And this is what I'm getting to is like, so the persona stemming from this trauma in this way to where it becomes a program, and you can do it strategically, like in a real way, where you're really like programming people intentionally in a way to where you're really controlling things from a perspective that they're crazy. But when imagine though, if you're a beautiful woman, and that's where you're forcing it, and then it's just like having to go into your physical attractiveness as a coping mechanism. or just as a part of coping with the emotional ugliness that's associated with that trauma.
Yeah, just to deflect, like, don't attack my core, you know? Don't attack the core of my being. Don't even look at it. Look at the shiny object. Look at the shiny object. Don't look at who I am. Just look at the shiny object.
It is tough. It's just because it's like they're so bad. Some of these women are they're so bad. But it's like they would never date someone that they can't feel comfortable with, like in the sense of them being able to control or have that sense of control from that identity. So he only really sees her on that level, and it, like she, you know what I mean? Like she's only gonna date people that feed that idea. She wouldn't date outside of it.
Oh yeah, no, because the persona has completely taken over, like a worm, taking over a brain.
It's fucking crazy, man. I'm just like, but some of her so bad. It's like no.
Yeah, but if you could like look past the skin and see like every dimension, they're not really that pretty.
It's just like a fucking like Men in Black alien worm, just running it.
Yeah, like
from like behind the
face. Yeah, no, exactly. And like that's why Lao Tzu was saying. Lao Tzu said, "Radiant but easy on the eyes." Like the only way you can be like that is if you got a steady flame. You know, you got to have a steady flame to be like that. To really be radiant yet easy on the eyes, so you can burn in a way that's not too bright. Like chicks that's burning too bright, they just gonna burn out fast. A chick that's like
that's that BPD too.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that's so much of that is just hormonal too, but yeah, it goes with the DID.
Yeah,
you know,
those are links.
You know, it's basically like two alters. You know, or the alter and the self, and then you know you call it bipolar, but yeah, like they, you know, you want to get shit for being yourself. You know, you don't want to get shit for being somebody not. It just feels disgusting. But if you was never, you know, yourself, you was never around a man that was himself, then there's nothing to check you. So then who's to say what's right or wrong, you know, until that's your reality. Like reality is like I get things because I twist in the mirror and take pictures, shit like that. Like this is who I am, you know. I'm this body, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
And they're just gonna burn out. You know what I mean? Like most of those bitches online.
Time checks them.
Yeah, father fucking time. Another fucking man, masculine. I mean, yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like in one way or another, you know, you're gonna get checked. You might as well check yourself so that you can do it gracefully. You don't want to get checked by the wall of time. You know what I mean? Like, you know, some chicks are such vamps that they're just going to keep the facade up super long because they're just absorbing a bunch of energy to sustain the illusion. And then all at once, the parasite's like, I'm just going to transmigrate over here to this other being now. You're done. And now you're just a soggy sack of bones. You know? Or they just kill them off like Marilyn Monroe or something.
That really be happening. Like, it's either... Like can you imagine? Man, they'll just flip out of nowhere. Like you can meet somebody and she's great for like a while, and then out of nowhere for no reason, she just flips either uncontrollably, emotionally in a way to where like, oh, okay, she can't like ignore or like hide her trauma anymore. So this is just all the undealt stuff, the stuff that wasn't dealt with, or is she just like making an excuse to move on?
Yeah, I mean, it's so many things, I guess. You know what I mean? I guess you could deal with that like a case by case. You know, sometimes it'd be trauma. You know, sometimes they're just addicted to their identity, the false identity. So, you know, it's like once you reach a certain stage in the game, you quit the game, turn the system off because now you're going to get challenged in this other way to where you have to be a different character, play a different role, which is really your true role or more true role. And they be like, nah, I want to stay in the same characters, so they abort the mission at the same spot every time, you know. And that's kind of what I noticed. Like with my relationships, I was like aborting at the same spot because it would be like I know this, I know how to get to this point so strategically, but it's not, you know, being good. It's like being good from like A to D. You know, you're not really ever getting a Z, but you're just like mastering A to D, and like, you know, it's not, you're not getting really any better. You're just doing the same thing over and over again. It'd be like it's like a carousel, you know, this coochie carousel. It's a bunch of different broads. You know, the settings might be themed different, but it's like the same thing. You know, you're going through the same, you know, first kiss and, you know, first this and first that and everything. But it's not really a first. This is the same thing over and over again. It's like I'm in a loop. I'm on a treadmill. You know what I mean? And my persona is tricking myself so much, such a spiral that I'm like dizzy to where I'm like, oh, it's a new chick. It's a new scenario. It's a new thing. You know what I mean? New name. You know, but it's like everything's the same. You know, they have parasite that's working through me. We both have the same parasite, and it's just picking up a different alter. It's picking up a different clothes, and it's Tiffany now or Cynthia or whoever the fuck. You know what I mean? It's the same, constantly the same, bro. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
I just, you know, and then it's like, you know, you got to really be okay with being yourself, and then you get what comes with that, you know. I think that's the hard part. Where for a lot of people, you know what I mean, they're like, damn, anything that's really myself, they're like, I don't want to be myself because, you know, the self has now become the enemy, you know, the thing that you don't want, because it's like it's gonna demand retribution. It's gonna for yourself and for life itself. So it's like, nah, anything but the self. You know what I mean? Anything but what's for me. And I think that's like the hardest part, you know.
In the more stimulation, more pleasure.
But yeah, because then you get stunned. You know, you're just stunning the body. It's like a stun gun. You know, I fuck a chick, get the euphoria. And it's like my body is now stunned. So now I can, you know, I can forget in this moment of being stunned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's just tough, like, because man, most of it with all this unhealed, this unhealed energy going on, like it's like, damn. Most of the time, I'm just in public. Like, if I see anybody that I could totally talk to this person, though the entire connection would be just kind of like carnal. And I still don't know myself. I'm still in this process of like, yeah, just getting to learn certain things to where, yeah, I just can't be like really like leading people anywhere. If that is the role of just like actually like lead people in relationships like that, it's like, dang.
I think, you know what I mean, like, it's not like you don't know yourself. It's just like you would like to know yourself more, and so you want to go in that direction of like, this experience is gonna make me know myself more and bring me to another experience that'll do the same and keep that going. That trend that'll be the trend, instead of like, yeah, just, you know, knowing pleasure and getting into that shit. And it's like, I just don't. It's just like the whole point of attraction, like, or the point of meeting, like, you know, if you say you're yourself, you know, somebody's not themselves, there's really no way to meet them unless you, and then like,
Unless you what?
you start to not be yourself.
Oh yeah. Oh damn.
I mean, like if I meet some chick and she bad, but she's not herself, it's like, I want to fuck her though, you know, because I want to fuck myself, because I just I don't want this responsibility. I don't want to be patient and everything like that. So I just want to fuck her to be stunned and to flatter myself, my false self. So I have to be fake now. I had to be fake with her in order to fuck her. So,
damn, man.
you know what I mean? So now I'm not myself. So now it's like an alter is coming in using my body to fuck her, and it's fucking her, you know, and her alter is using her body to get fucked. And it's like both the alters are being manipulated because they're both just programs. You know, it's like, I'm gonna run this app. I'm gonna run this playbook, this app on these people, on these bodies that aren't being themselves. You know what I mean? And it just like automatically happens, man. It's like autopilot. As soon as you start to deviate, you know, yeah.
Like yes, they left their pass. Just like they just gave me their passwords to their.
Yeah, yeah, you're deviating. You know what I mean? Like you're deviating. Like you're just stepping away from yourself. So it's like um, it's like instant, man. It's like soon as you step away, something is controlling now. It's not like it's just like nothing controlling the system. It's something like always at the wheel. So you might as well be at the wheel. You know what I mean?
That's yeah. Oh, I mean, okay, these stand-in personalities and personas that could be like Bozzy or the Zodiac. It's already embedded. These programs are already there. They're going to be there as long as people aren't at the wheel. There's going to be these. I don't want to say like plays, but scripts. These scripts play out in these programs, and there is a drama because that's just how. That's the only way the psyche can cope with reality, having language. It needs like a story. So it's like,
Yeah, I see it a lot in musicians. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot with musicians. You know, like it's sometimes when they want to fill something in, they go right into something that they know sounds good because of somebody else having done it. It's like an installation of something that you know isn't them in a sense. Like you know, you say for like 4 bars, it sounds like themselves, and then the next few bars, they get nervous or something or whatever. They don't know what to do. Whatever it is, they get impatient. They don't want to wait for the next bars to come from themselves, so they just fill it in with the training, you know, the conditioning of, you know, their favorite influence or whatever. And so that's what you get, you know what I mean? Like it's like ingrained at that point. It's like as soon as the person gets nervous, they go right into this thing. As soon as they get offended in certain ways, they go right into this thing. And it's like learned behavior,
shtick.
you know. Yeah, it's like automatic. It just happens like the more that you relinquish the power, like it just happens. It's like simultaneous. Like as soon as you step away from the wheel, something's taking the wheel.
Damn. Well, all right, man. I feel like this is a great place to wrap it up.
Yeah, I think it's solid. You know, solid right there. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, I've got more clarity, and I feel like the conversations, just these certain points of awareness on certain ideas. You know, the conversations actually have crazy meaning, very deep meaning. I'm still getting more value from all the time. So I just appreciate all the patrons. Everybody supporting this wave is so lit. I just want to thank everybody. Thank you, Taylor, for your time.
Yeah, man. Likewise, man. I know you said you're coming out here, so I guess we'll be doing them in person soon.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm so excited. So cool. We'll just keep working, man.
Yeah, man. Truly, truly. You know, don't stop.
Trust.
Yeah. All right, then, man. Yeah, I guess I'm not gonna hold you. I got a session to get to. I guess my damn self.
Yeah, word. All right, I'm gonna get this money. You stay lit, man. All right, and I'll see you on the flip. And yeah, just peace out to all the supporters.
All right, bro. Yes, sir. All right, yeah, and thanks again.
All right, of course, you're welcome,
All right,
man. Thank you.
all right, bro.
All right.